Three huge myths about resellers, their sales and their numbers, and tax season coming. That's what we need to talk about today. Welcome back in, everybody. Thank you for joining the channel. It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, and there are a lot of myths about reselling and your taxes and your sales numbers and the numbers you see people reporting on Facebook groups and all over social media. And I want to cover those three big myths because they are scary to a lot of new sellers and to a lot of sellers who maybe it's their first year and they don't have a lot of experience with selling or what that means at the end of the year. We are coming up on November, so you have just 2 months left before tax season officially starts on January 1st, 2024. So myth number one is that you only have to report income when you hit certain numbers. So there is a misconception of this a lot, and it's because of A, our stupid government changing the laws all the time and not being clear about it, and B, because a lot of people get a lot of bad information off of Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, and I'm gonna clear that up for you right now. So prior to this law change, it used to be $20,000 and 200 transactions that you would receive a 1099, which is the tax form that basically just gives you your total sales for the year. That did not mean that you had to hit those numbers before you were required to start reporting, but people thought that. They were like, oh, I didn't hit $20,000. I don't have to report anything. That's not true. That is only the threshold, the limit to where you will receive a 1099. They have, however, changed that law. The law is now $600 period. Any amount of transactions, $600, you're going to receive that 1099. In fact, Venmo and Cash App and all of those can send you a 1099 if you had $600 come into your account. It could have came in 600 $1 transactions, one $600 transaction, doesn't matter. That does not mean that you owe money or that it is all taxable. It simply means they're going to issue you a 1099 at that number, and you are going to have to account for all of those transactions. Whether you hit the 600 or not, technically by law, per the IRS, per the federal government, you are responsible to report, mind you, that's a very important word, every dollar of income that you receive, that you make, that you sell. All of that is reportable from $1 to $1 billion. It's all reportable, but 600 now is when you will get that 1099 paper. Let's thank the sponsor of today's video, my Reseller Genie, Paul and Faith. They have the best accounting and inventory control software that helps you track your sales, profits, expenses, and even your estimated tax bill, along with tracking your inventory, all from one place. And you can access it anywhere you have an internet connection. They have 2 great plans available, and make sure you check them out in the link in the description below and use the code to save 15%, Rockstarflipper 15. Now that brings me to the second myth, that just because you sell stuff and you're having to report this income and these sales, that you're gonna owe a whole lot of taxes, a whole lot of money to taxes, or that you're gonna owe anything at all. Now, full disclaimer, I'm not a licensed CPA or licensed tax attorney, obviously. I cannot give you actual legal financial advice, but the majority of people watching this video, the majority of sellers that I come across in a daily basis, whether it be in the Facebook groups or emails, usually don't owe that much money, if any at all. It actually takes a lot of sales and a lot of profits until you start owing serious amounts of money. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're somebody who sells $2,000 a month on average, gross sales. You are only taxed on your profit less your expenses. So if you're only doing $2,000 a month in sales, that's $24,000 a year, total gross sales. That's the number that's going to appear on your 1099, and that's the number that you're going to report to the IRS for your tax purposes. Well, on $24,000 in sales, let's say that you're just an eBay seller, right? We already know that eBay takes like 14% in fees, and on that $24,000, that's the total amount of money you made with the cost of the item and the shipping. You're going to have your shipping label costs come out of that. That's an expense. We already know that that's probably, give or take, you're selling $20 items and spending $4 or $5 to ship them. That's 20%. eBay fees plus the cost of your labels are generally about 35 to 40%. Let's just say 35%. You have a cost of goods as well, what you paid for those items, anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20%. You have a cost of an eBay store every month. You have the cost of your packing materials, your bubble wrap, your poly bags, your mailers. All that's deductible. It's all expenses. You could actually only end up making 40% profit. Well, on $24,000, let's make it easy, $25,000 in sales, 40% is only $10,000 in profit, right? We haven't even got into you deducting your cell phone, your home office, your gas, your mileage, all this stuff. But on $10,000, let's say you fall into a 25% tax bracket, you would only owe $2,500. And again, like I said, we haven't even got into cell phones or gas and mileage. You might only end up owing $1,500 on $25,000 in sales, right? Well, that's what, like, I don't even know, 10% of 25,000 is 2,500. So 5% would be 12. You'd be looking at like 7% tax on that money. Now, everybody is different. If you have other income, if you have W-2 income, or you're have another business or another job, or you're married with your, you're filing your taxes together jointly, all that sort of thing can affect all these numbers. But I'm giving you a general idea. You could be somebody doing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in sales and maybe only owe a couple grand at most. If you have a good CPA and a lot of expenses or deductions, maybe you bought a new computer, new phone, maybe you rent a storage unit for $200 a month, that's another $2,400 deduction. Maybe you've bought storage bins and shelves and materials. You can deduct all of this stuff, including if you use my service, if you went to a conference, travel, airplane, hotel, all that sort of stuff is all deductible. You can get that tax bill down to practically nothing, right? Unless you're doing big, big numbers. And this is why a lot of people complain about like business owners and millionaires and billionaires who don't pay that much in taxes. Their tax percentages are very low. And it's not because they're doing anything illegal. It's not because they're being shady. It's because that's the way the taxes are written. They can write off everything. And obviously a millionaire or a billionaire has a ton of expenses. They have company cars and commissions and employees and payroll tax and building rentals or building mortgages that they're paying on. And they have insurance and workman's comp is deductible, I believe. And all this stuff is all things that they get to write off to the tune of millions and millions of dollars, which eliminates their tax bill. Well, you can do the same thing. It's just in smaller numbers. You're writing off a few hundred for this, a few thousand for shipping, a few thousand for travel and this. And eventually your tax bill that might start at $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 gets whittled down to a couple $1,000s. So myth number 2 is that reporting this income using these 1099s and all of this income is going to end up costing you a ton of taxes and tax money and tax bills, when in fact that might not be true. For some folks it may be. They might not have a lot of deductions and they might be in a higher tax bracket or this and that. But for the majority of people, that's just simply not the case. And that's the reason a lot of people don't like to stay on the up and up, because they're so scared of that tax bill that they don't keep track of everything because they're just terrified. And that is myth number 2. Okay, myth number 3, there's a lot of people who want to stay on the up and up. They want to pay the taxes. They want to report it and get it whittled down and not have a ton bill. Whatever it is, they are overwhelmed at how much time or how much effort or work it's going to take to actually track these numbers. They're scared that there's not an easy way. They don't know what to track. They don't know how to track it. They don't know the best way to go about it. And honestly, guys, you can do it for free with a basic CSV, a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheet. Absolutely free. It does take a little bit of work and it's not as clean and easy. There is a much easier way. It's my Reseller Genie. They were just at the conference. Paul and Faith are the owners. This is so affordable and so easy. You can get it for as cheap as $10 and $15 a month, $20 a month, which is well worth it. And don't forget, using their service is also a tax deduction. So you're going to get use of that money off of the taxes if you end up owing anything. Using my Reseller Genie is categorizing things for you, tracking your expenses, tracking your shipping, tracking your sales, tracking your profits, tracking all of these deductions. So at the end of the year, you can print out or save on your computer clean files with clean summaries that will give you all the numbers you need to fill in your taxes. They will tell you exactly what you owe at the end of the day. The Reseller Genie is going to estimate it for you, and then once you have the numbers and you plug it into your tax software, whether you use H&R Block or TurboTax or Quicken or whatever, that will give you, using the numbers from Genie, that will give you the final amount that you owe. That way you can kind of keep an eye on it. But as you use Genie throughout the year, you'll have an idea if you plug in 25 or 27% or whatever your tax bracket you think you're going to be in or close, you'll have a general idea of what you might owe come tax time, January, February, March, April. That's what's really great about Genie. It has that option. You can also link your credit cards and link your bank statements, your bank accounts for expenses. So when you spend stuff using your business credit card or your business debit card, it will automatically log that into Genie. Like, hey, I went out to Staples today and I bought 2 packs of bubble wrap for $40. Whoop, swipe it and the $40 expense goes in. It's categorized and you don't even have to worry about it. So it's a fantastic option to take care of this. And so that will get rid of that stress and that overwhelming fear of like how to track your numbers for the end of the year. Then you can tackle myth number 2 where you can report it without any fear. And you tackled myth number 3 where you don't wait around till you hit certain numbers that are mythologically the number you're supposed to hit. You've reported everything. You've done what you had to do. You stay on the up and up. You have reported income, which can help you get loans, help you build your business credit. And you've made sure you've done it the correct way and haven't missed out on any type of deductions because they're all inside of your My Reseller Genie. By all means, guys, you can use a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet for free. Feel free to do that for a couple months. Figure out how much work it is, and then come over to My Reseller Genie and figure out how much time you're going to save yourself for just a few dollars a month. It's an awesome service, and you can save 15% off for trying them out right now. I'll link it below. There's a discount code. It's Rockstarflipper15, Rockstarflipper15. You'll save the 15% off. You can try them out. They have great tutorial videos, how-to videos, YouTube videos, and the best customer support on all the internet. So please, don't fall for the 3 reseller numbers and tax myths. You have to report any income. You're not going to get a 1099 until you hit $600, but that doesn't mean you don't have to report. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to owe a lot of taxes or even any taxes. And the final myth is that it's not hard to track your numbers. It's not hard to keep track of it. You can use something like Excel and Google Sheets and it's fine, or you can step your game up and use My Reseller Genie. Linked below. They're a great sponsor of this channel. They have the best customer service from Paul and Faith. You won't regret it. And I appreciate them for being at the conference, for spending time with me, and for the services and the awesome program, My Reseller Genie, that they provide to all of us. So please, guys, do not be scared of your taxes. Don't be scared of your numbers. Give them a shout. Ask them questions. Join their program, and they will help you keep it all straight. Tax season is just 60 days away, a little more than 60 days, 2 months. So don't fall behind now. Don't wait around till April. As always, I appreciate you watching these videos. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, which is tomorrow, I will see you later.